Before we talk about the mod, I'd like to discuss a few things. First, who am I? Nobody. Second, why Necromancy? Necromancy is something I've loved in every game that I've played. And my favorite game of all time, RuneScape, came out with Necromancy. And while it was in RS3, I still had a really good time playing it and find myself going back just to be a necromancer in RuneScape. In Path of Exile, always play a necromancer or a summoner of some sort. Skyrim, necromancer. When I played World of Warcraft for a few months, I played a warlock with minions. The 30 minutes I played of Diablo, I was a necromancer. And more recently, in Destiny 2, I've been playing a buddy build where I sit back and let my minions do all the work. What it is that draws me to summoning the undead and sitting back and relaxing, I'm not sure. Maybe it's my old age, but necromancy has always been something that I've really enjoyed. I like necromancy, and I like Minecraft. In the past, I've looked for necromancy mods, but there didn't seem like there was much. And everything that did have it was very convoluted, and I really enjoy just the vanilla experience. So I decided to create my own mod that feels very vanilla, but lets me scratch that necromancer itch. The last thing I want to talk about is that I never really planned on sharing this or showing this to anyone besides a couple friends, and have no intentions on distributing this. But if this is well received and people do want to see it, it might be something we can talk about in the future. But enough rambling, let's get into the first playthrough and start discovering some of the mechanics that I built into vanilla Minecraft Necromancy. Alright, here we go. The official first playthrough of Necromancy. Now, I want to play this like a normal playthrough, but I'm going to only use Necromancy as much as possible. I'm not going to speed run, but I'm going to try to beat the game relatively quickly using Necromancy. So let's work on getting the first essentials, the standard start for now. But I'm going to quickly build a sword if I can remember how to do that. Spear, maybe I'll do a spear. That's new and I've never used it. Let's try a spear. And this will kick off our kind of start of necromancy. In order to start, we have to kill things. Let's kill this chicken. It doesn't hide from me too much. Oh no. Oh, and there we go. There is the first thing to do with necromancy. The soul essence. Let me quickly explain some of the features and numbers behind the soul essence. First, it has a drop rate of 5% for the player and 90% for minions. So once you have minions, you'll be able to collect them a lot easier. But at the start, it's a little bit harder to get going. Second, when you're within 16 chunks of a soul essence and holding the weapon, they will be attracted to you, and they will auto-absorb into the weapon if you're holding it or offhanding it. If you're not holding the weapon, however, they will just go into your inventory so you can use them for other things. So when we pick that up, we should get some new recipes. There it is. New recipes. Oh boy. Okay. So put down the crafting table. Oh, there you can see it right there. The wooden necromancer staff. So if we look at the recipe, it's pretty simple. Let's go ahead and craft it. Unfortunately, there are no souls in it currently, so we need to do what we just did and gather some more souls to charge it. But once we charge it, we should be off to the races. Hope you can see the new UI element in the bottom right by the hotbar. That can tell me what I can summon, but we'll look at that in a minute once I get some souls to charge this with. Go use our spear some more. Alright, here's another chicken. Let's see if we can get a soul from it. Supposed to run? I don't even know how these spears work. Man, I'm better than this, I promise. It's just a spear. Yeah, a spear. Okay, finally I got my next soul. Only took a dozen chickens or so, but another cool thing about the souls, if you're holding a staff, they will auto come to you. Alright, now that's my second soul. Come look at the charges. I have 2 charges, which means I can use the projectile. If I hit an enemy, oop. Alright, now we have the staff. Got souls in it. You left click, it will shoot out a projectile that poisons the enemy, but also charges the staff. So now we have 6 charges. So we just keep hitting enemies, keep siphoning their soul. Now that we have a few charges, let's look over here at this UI. We can see we can summon a zombie. So let's go ahead and summon our first zombie. Boom. And there he is. He'll just kind of wander around. I must have hit that sheep at some point because normally they don't attack sheeps, but we find an enemy, we attack it, he will immediately aggro onto who we want to kill. But it will also fight anybody that comes close that is hostile. Shouldn't attack creepers just to keep the world clean. And it shouldn't attack endermen, shouldn't attack piglins, hoglins, but I guess we'll see how that goes. I'm sure we'll run into a lot of issues that we'll have to fix along the way, but let me go ahead and summon a skeleton now to join the battle. Let's attack this poor little sheep over here and watch them go for him. Oh, there's a soul coming to me. Very nice. It's cool. We've got the initial army. I guess we can summon a spider. You can see my mob cap is only 2 right now. So it got rid of the oldest mob if they're all full health. Or if one of them's lower health, it'll just dismiss the lower health. But now I have a little army started. I've got some souls in my staff. I can also mute the minions here if they're a little too loud or annoying. Or click here and that will just dismiss them. Also, if I crouch and right click, which is the summon, it will dismiss them as well. But let's get upgrades. Let's get some let's get a stone staff going. So obviously that's the upgrade after. So let's get a pickaxe. Come down here and gather some of the stone. Oh, there's a feature I forgot to mention that just happened. You take the staff off for more than 15 seconds, your minions despawn. So you've got to keep it on. Can't offhand it, which is what I should have done to keep them alive, but it's not too big of a deal. As long as we maintain our souls. But now I have my stone. Should be able to make... Need a soul. Yeah. Get my skeletons out. Oh, I need to make sure I don't absorb the soul right away. Can be a little tricky. Attack this sheep here. Now. Set there in the crossfire. Normally nighttime is a little scary starting off, but with these guys, it's a lot less to worry about. I just dismissed him. I still gotta learn this mod myself. Alright, there's a soul. Immediately charges the staff. Okay. I might have to fix that. Okay, it looks like that is fixed. I can now pick up a soul, which was the problem we were having. Minions are going to despawn, but I have a soul. Now I should be able to craft the stone staff. Alright, so let's summon 2 more skeletons to use the staff with the souls. I switch to this staff, they shouldn't despawn. This would be a good time to show off the picking the lowest enemy when you respawn. So he's pretty low. If I respawn, he should die. The new one should come in nice and healthy. Eat some of it. Need to regenerate a little bit of life. Oh crap, I forgot to keep my staff on. Summon. Let's do some spiders. See how they are. Now they're faster. Not quite as strong as a zombie as it seems though. I'll just summon a couple zombies. Another soul. I don't really want to fight that creeper with zombies though. So I switch to skeletons and see where keep my staff on. Come down here, grab some more stone. Let's see if we can find some coal. There's some coal. Alright, I really want to find some copper. Okay, copper necromancy stuff. Which we can't because we don't have a soul. So let's go gather a soul. Alright, we've got a soul. Boom, copper staff. All right, let's put these all next to each other. Something I wanted to point out was that holding the, let's do the wood first. Holding the wooden staff, you can see the zombie is 20 HP, 3 damage. If we move up to the stone, the zombie is 22 HP and 3.2 damage. And copper, 24 HP and 3.3 damage. Something that I've added is scaling. So the higher the staff, the higher the damage, the higher the HP. And eventually, you'll have a few more summons. And that's it for the first episode. Although it may not sound like it, I really enjoyed making this mod and this video so far. I'm doing this pretty late at night and I have kids sleeping, so I have to talk a bit quieter. Please comment down below what you think of the mod, what you think of the video, and leave me any suggestions for either the mod or the video. If you watched this all the way to the end, thank you. I'd like to keep making videos about this and other mods I have in mind, and would love input from anyone watching on what they think could make these mods better. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.